Hello, I'm Brandon Bonifer, and you are on Focus. And today we're talking about a new candidate for the 69th Assembly. I'm here with Brian Giles to learn about his candidacy for the 69th District. Brian, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thanks for this opportunity.
So obviously, Brian and I are working remotely here, as you guys can see. Brian, are you at home today, or
Yes, this is my home office here, so where I have been and will be for the foreseeable future.
so talking about being home? Where is home for you here in the 69th District?
Home is Marshfield. I was born and raised here, lived here most of my life. Along with my wife, we've raised our three boys here as they're getting ready to actually get out of the house and uh, as we become empty nesters, I guess. uh, I've worked, quite a while here in Marshfield. I first started off doing general labor for quite a few years, and then I transitioned over to sales. And most recently, I have actually worked on a presidential campaign.
What really kind of sparked your interest to run in the 69th?
I think one of the main things that really got me excited about running Brand is I feel that our district has kind of just been ignored lately in favor of special interests. I don't know if you're aware or not, but we've actually had in the last few years 5 referendums that have overwhelmingly passed in this district. So obviously they're bipartisan. Um, you know, Democrats, Republicans, all are in favor of these referendums, and yet not one has gone up for a vote. And I think that's because we have too much special interest right now in Madison. And I really feel the best way to combat that is to elect officials who don't have ties to the big money, who don't accept big money donations. And I think that's really the only way we're going to fix that issue and really get a voice for us in Madison.
You talk about people having issues and having concerns in the district. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to stand up and actually take action. Was there a trigger, or what gave you the courage to just stand up and say, I'm going to run for this?
I think the main thing was actually it came down to what happened just this last election. Uh, Seeing the people in Milwaukee, Madison, during this crisis that we're in, having the courage to go out, stand in line, wait for hours. I mean, people are waiting till midnight to vote, and it just really upset me that people were forced to, you know, risk their lives for a right that they should have.
And you talk about stand up yourself, and you having the courage to do this and fight for those voices. Have you had a chance to talk to people that share some of the same interests that you do, that gave you any encouragement or helped you embody your decision?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to really, I guess, pick the brains of representatives who are representatives or people who have run for office. They've given me some good direction on their feelings on the matter, and I've actually even had an opportunity to talk to people who I may not agree with in a political sense, um, but to really get their opinions. I mean, that's what you have to do when you're running for a position like this, is to be able to talk to all people, get all ideas, and be willing to change if you need to change on things.
And I have to imagine, as you're having these conversations, those are kind of, close circle conversations. You came out, I believe, on Tuesday and announced your candidacy on social media. Have you had any response from citizens in the area since putting that out?
Yeah, I've had quite a few people getting in touch with me either through the Facebook page, which is Brian Giles for Assembly, and on the page I also have my email contact, which is gilesforassembly@gmail.com. You can reach me with any concerns that you have, any issues that you really want represented for you. Um, Reach out to me, let me know, and we can work with that, and hopefully we can make a change.
So talking about reaching out, and obviously, conversations and communications are so important. A part of politics, but also just part of campaigning. We have this safer at home order that's still in place, and a lot of people in central Wisconsin are definitely, sheltering in place. How have you really made an effort to, or how are you making an effort to connect with people and still trying to keep that social or physical distancing in mind?
Sure. I think about the only way you can really go about it is you have to have a digital presence, for the foreseeable future, whether it's the Facebook page, whether it's a website, which we're working on, that would really kind of put forth, my ideas and what I would like to do in Madison. And then good old fashioned phone calls.
So as you rally support for your kind of your thoughts and your ideas, and people are connecting with you, how can people really help show your support?
Um, Couple real important ways. Reach out to me, volunteer, share my information. That's going to be a big one right now. And we've had great response from people around the community. Um, I'd like to point out our local parties, both the Wood County Democratic Party, Clark County Democratic Party, Marathon County Democratic Party are have great volunteers, great people associated with them, that I know help out in a lot of different ways. But yeah, it's just basically sharing, volunteering, and being that one of my key issues was getting that special interest in big money out of politics. Obviously, I'm not going to accept any big money donations. So grassroots donating would be a big help too to be able to continue the campaign and to hopefully get some yard signs out. And it's kind of another way that we can still get the name recognition even if you can't go door to door talking to people yet.
You talk about the Democratic Party. You mentioned, Wood County, I believe you said, in Clark County, if I had that correct.
Mhm.
Um, do you see the field in the Democratic Party expanding at all?
I really don't. I think it's going to be wait and see what happens on the Republican side and their primary, which I believe is August 11th. I think just kind of see what happens with that. But I don't foresee, and I'm not aware of any other Democratic candidates running.
And talking about the Republican Party there, have you had a chance to review the fact that there seems to be a large number of people running on that ticket for the Republican ticket?
Yeah, I believe if I'm not wrong, it's four people that I think right now. And hey, that's great. Let them fight it out and see what happens come August. And I also wanted to mention that another factor that I think a lot of people are getting really sick of in politics is the negative campaigning, dirty politics. And I want to just come out right now to say that I'm going to challenge whoever does win the Republican nomination to sign a pledge along with myself that we won't engage in negative campaigning and we won't accept money from any party that engages in negative campaigning on our behalf. I think that's an important thing, and I think another bipartisan thing that a lot of people will agree on.
So at this time, I guess I'd say with only having one person running on the Democratic ticket at this time, and there being multiple people on the Republican ticket, do you think that sends a sign to the Republican, committees and people in here in those counties of the 69th asking, is the party not aligned at this time? Have you guys as a Republican ticket talked about that? It just seems overwhelming that there'd be that many people running in this district.
Sure, sure. I'm not quite sure. What my guess is, there's always different factions in parties. Some people maybe lean what we're referring to as like far right. Some people are more in the center of the party, and some might even be more left of the party, but still um, running as Republicans. So my only, I guess, thought is that maybe there is that divide within the party.
So at this point, what are some of the next steps that you are doing in your campaign?
Right now, we are still really working on trying to get the word out. So, um, once again, Brian Giles for Assembly. And we are working on getting those nomination signatures. Now, we need between 200 and 400 signatures to actually be able to file for candidacy. So, that's going to be right. That's job one right now. And then working on putting together a website so we can get my ideas more out there so people have. Um,
And talking about getting those signatures, years past, I was seeing people running for, office, going door to door in the district and asking for, the support. How is it different now with social distancing?
yeah, like I said, it's a whole different ball game. It's you don't make those personal contacts with people, which really does kind of hurt. But the only way we can run it right now is going digitally, and wait and see what happens. I believe right now we're at the latest. I think of another month out, more than likely of stay at home. So just keep connecting digitally with people, and hopefully towards the end of the election, we'll actually be able to get out and kind of put more of a face to the name.
Yeah, and as we move forward throughout the process, I'm sure we'll have more conversations. But at this time, do you have a message for the citizens in the 69th about, what you're going to do to stand out or step up for the district?
Sure, I think the big thing is just to know that uh, I'm going to be a voice for the people. I've lived here my whole life. I've struggled like other people have struggled, and other people might be struggling today. I'm not rich like most of us here in this district, and never will be. Um, and I think that makes me more qualified to speak for the voice of the people.
Sounds good. Well, Brian, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit. I'm sure those that want to connect with you, I'll have a link in the description to get a hold of you on your website, a link to your Facebook. So, guys, if you want to do that now, jump in the description, take a look at that. Brian, thank you for taking a few minutes to just talk with me as we introduce you to our audience as we serve Central Wisconsin as the #1 news agency in coverage. So, with that being said, guys, I'm Brandon Bonifer with On Focus News. If you have any questions about what we're doing or you want to provide some additional insight, we hope you guys are all staying safe and happy, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.